Imagine waking up tomorrow, and money no longer exists. No cash, no bank alerts, no salary alerts, no balance on your banking app, nothing, just people, skills, resources, and the ability to solve problems. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. Would you still know how wealth works? Because the truth is, most people don't actually understand money. They only understand how to chase it. You were taught, go to school, get a job, earn a salary, save money, survive. But no one stopped to ask the deeper question. What exactly is money? Is it paper? Is it numbers on a screen? Is it something the government prints? Or is money something much deeper? Something that existed long before banks, long before currencies, long before Nigeria itself existed. Because if we trace money back far enough, we discover something shocking. The first form of money was not coins, was not paper, was not gold. The first form of money was human energy, your ability to hunt, your ability to build, your ability to grow food, your ability to solve problems. And once you understand that, you begin to see something else, the real difference between families that stay poor and families that build wealth for generations. It's not luck, it is understanding the true nature of money. So the real question for you watching right now is this: were you taught how money works, or were you only taught how to earn it? Because if you are going to become the first millionaire in your family, you must first break the biggest lie about money. To understand the truth about money, we must go back to the very beginning. Before banks, before governments, before currencies, before coins. We must return to something I call the human energy currency framework. This framework explains the entire history of money in 5 stages. Human energy as survival skills as currency. Land and agriculture, wealth through control of resources. Trade objects, shells, metals, and commodities. Institutional money, government-controlled currency. Digital value systems, modern money networks. Every financial system humanity has ever created is built on these 5 stages, and if you understand them, you understand the entire revolution of money. Now let's bring this back to your life. If you live in Nigeria today, your relationship with money probably looks like this. You wake up in the morning. You check your phone. Maybe you open your banking app. Maybe you're waiting for a salary alert. Maybe you're hoping a client will send payment. Maybe you're refreshing your crypto wallet, or watching business videos on social media. Everywhere online, people are talking about money. How to make it, how to invest it, how to multiply it, but very few people are asking the deeper question. What actually gives money its value? Think about it. Is money your tool, or are you spending your entire life chasing it? Did your parents teach you wealth, or did they only teach you how to earn income? Is your family building financial systems, or surviving paycheck to paycheck? Pause for a moment and answer honestly, then comment below. What did your parents teach you money really is? Was it something to save, something to spend, or something to build wealth with? Because your answer might explain more about your financial future than you think. Let's look at something simple. Imagine 2 people in Lagos. Person earns a salary of 50,000 per month. That is 600,000 per year. If they work for 10 years, they earn 6 million total. But here's the problem. That money mostly goes to rent, food, transportation, electricity, family responsibilities. At the end of 10 years, their income may have increased slightly, but their wealth is almost zero. Now imagine person B also starts with 50,000, but instead of spending all of it, they use part of it to acquire something, maybe land, maybe a small business, maybe a digital skill. Now imagine that asset grows, a small business generating 20,000 monthly profit. That's 240,000 per year. In 10 years, that business alone produces 2.4 million. But here's the key difference. The business keeps producing money, even if the person stops working. So now we see the difference between income and wealth. Income is money you earn. Wealth is systems that produce money. And the history of money is really the story of humans learning this difference. Let's pause a bit here and challenge our thinking. Quick question, think carefully. Which of these is real money? A cash in your pocket B, your bank balance C, your monthly salary D, the value you can create in the world. Think about it. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is D, the value you can create in the world. Because everything else, cash, bank balances, salary, all of them depend on one thing: your ability to create value, and this has been true for thousands of years. Imagine a human being living 20,000 years ago. There are no banks, no currencies, no governments. Just nature and survival. If you could hunt, you had food. If you could build tools, you had protection. If you could start fires, you had warmth. Your skills were your currency. Your energy was your wealth. In early human societies, the strongest hunters often had the most influence. Not because they had money, but because they could provide value to the group: food, protection, tools, problem solving. In other words, money had not yet been invented, but wealth already existed. Now imagine something changes. Humans discover agriculture. Instead of hunting animals, they start growing crops. Now something revolutionary happens. Food can be stored. Food can be controlled. Food can be traded. And the people who control land suddenly control wealth. Imagine a farmer controlling hundreds of acres of fertile land. He can produce more food than his family needs. That surplus becomes power. It can be traded for labor, tools, animals, protection. This is when wealth begins to accumulate, and the first economic class systems begin to appear: landowners, workers, traders. But barter had a problem. If you had fish, but the farmer didn't want fish, trade became difficult, so societies began using objects of value as money: salt, beads, metal, shells. These objects represented something important: trust. They were portable, recognized, accepted. Which leads us to something deeply connected to African history, long before colonial rule. African societies already had complex trade systems. Across West Africa, a small seashell became widely accepted as money: the cowrie shell. For centuries, cowries were used in trade across large parts of Africa. They were used to buy food, livestock, clothing, land. In many regions, large sacks of cowries represented immense wealth. Markets operated, trade routes expanded, economies functioned. Africa had money systems long before colonial currencies arrived. Then something changed. European colonial powers arrived, and they brought a new financial system: control. In the late 1800s, a powerful company called the Royal Niger Company began controlling trade in large parts of what would become Nigeria. They did not just control goods, they controlled commerce. Later, the British established the West African Currency Board. This institution controlled the currency used across British West Africa. The goal was not just economic stability, it was economic control. Colonial currencies replaced traditional money systems, and local economies became tied to global financial systems. Eventually, after independence, Nigeria created its own currency: the naira, a symbol of national economic identity. But the story of money did not stop there. Around the world, money systems were also changing. During the Industrial Revolution, machines multiplied productivity. Factories created wealth at scales never seen before. Then came the gold standard, where currencies were tied to gold reserves. Later, after World War II, the Bretton Woods system linked global currencies to the US dollar. Then in 1971, the Nixon shock ended the gold standard. Money became something new. Not tied to gold, not tied to physical assets, but tied to trust in institutions. And today, we are entering another transformation: digital money, cryptocurrency, online economies. Once again, the meaning of money is evolving. Now we arrive at the deeper truth. Money is not paper. Money is not coins. Money is not numbers on a screen. Money is something much more profound. Money is stored human time. When you work for an hour and receive payment, you have converted your time into money. Money is also transferable energy. It allows value created by one person to move across the economy. And money rewards one thing above all else: scale. The more people your work helps, the more value you create, the more money flows toward you. This is why entrepreneurs often earn more than employees. Not because they work harder, but because their work reaches more people. So what does all of this mean for someone living in Nigeria today? It means the old model is becoming dangerous. The model that says, go to school, get a job, depend entirely on salary. Because salary is limited, but systems scale. Skills scale, businesses scale, assets scale. And in the digital world, one skill can serve millions of people. This is the mindset shift required to become the first millionaire in your family. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on what this journey has revealed. If you followed the story carefully, 5 powerful lessons begin to emerge. First, wealth follows value creation. Money does not appear from nowhere. It flows toward people who solve meaningful problems. Second, systems outperform salaries. A salary pays you for your time. A system continues producing value even when you are not working. Third, knowledge compounds like money. The more you understand about money, history, and value creation, the more powerful your financial decisions become. Fourth, history explains financial inequality. The systems we live in today were shaped by centuries of economic decisions, institutions, and power structures. And fifth, ownership creates generational power. Families that build assets don't just earn income, they create foundations that future generations can stand on. So what can you actually do with this knowledge? Start simple. Study the history of money. Learn scalable digital skills. Invest in assets instead of liabilities. Build systems that generate income. And most importantly, think generationally. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think money controls people today? Should schools teach money psychology? Comment yes if you believe wealth starts with knowledge. And comment first millionaire if you believe you will be the one who changes your family's financial future. If this episode changed the way you think about money, then you must read the book, The First Millionaire in Your Family. Because understanding money is the first step toward controlling it. Thousands of readers have already started rethinking their financial future after reading it. Not because the book promises quick wealth, but because it teaches something more powerful. Financial awareness. And when awareness changes, decisions change. And when decisions change, generations change. So if you want to build wealth that lasts beyond your lifetime, start with knowledge, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to understand the truth about money. Because the future of money is changing again. The real question is, will you evolve with it? In the next episode, we travel even further back in time. Before banks, before coins, before trade, before the idea of money even existed. A world where survival depended on only two things: human strength and human skill. Imagine waking up thousands of years ago. No salaries, no markets, no bank balances. If you could hunt, you ate. If you could build tools, you survived. If you could protect your tribe, you were valuable. In that world, something extraordinary was happening. Without realizing it, humans had already created the first economic system. Because the first currency in human history was not gold, not silver, not shells. It was something every human possesses. Human energy, your strength, your intelligence, your ability to solve problems for others. And in episode 2 of The Revolution of Money, we will uncover the forgotten era when energy itself was money. The hunter-gatherer world. Because once you understand how humans first created value, you will begin to see something clearly. The true foundation of wealth has never been money. It has always been human capability. This channel is not about motivation. It is about transformation. Every video you watch here is one step closer to becoming the first millionaire in your family. Not through luck, not through hype, but through discipline, structure, and long-term thinking. We are building thinkers. We are building investors. We are building legacy creators. And if you stay here long enough, apply what you learn, and study the blueprint inside the first millionaire in your family, you won't just change your income, you'll change your bloodline. So if this video shifted your thinking even a little, subscribe, because this is not just content. This is preparation. And 10 years from now, you'll either look back and say, I started when it was small, or I wish I did. Choose wisely. I'll see you in the next lesson.